And hello. Hey there, to all of you who are looking in on this right now, live and in living color here, either on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or wherever I decide to post this. This is yours truly, Demetrius Big Meach Taylor, darling, and I'm coming to you with another Donut Factory Chronicles, although this time I'm not at the factory, honey. I am, honey, at the villa, getting ready to prepare to go to the Donut Factory. But this thing here is on my brain cells, and I could not let this go by without addressing this. And I'm going to be as upfront and forward as possible. This is going to sound a little bit that way. So all of my Caucasian fans and friends and those of you who hear this, y'all might have, think this is coming out of left field or something, but I want you to hear this because for a long time, this has been a plague with us. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to go about doing this. It's just that it's just something that happens all the time. And wow, a lot of y'all are coming up in here real cutely, and that's cute. So before I get started, let me say this to everyone. Please go to my website, www.dishingtea.com. Let me put that down here in the comment section for everybody. That is www.dishingtea.com. Go there for everything Dishing Tea for me, please. Be sure that you guys go like and subscribe and share this with any and everybody because this is going to be a doozy. So let me get down into this because I have a limited amount of time, and y'all know talking is a hobby. Oh, okay. We have just gone through this whole fiasco about Kevin Hart, okay? Kevin and the whole thing with the homophobic responses and this, that, and the other. And you guys know when I did my video before, I had said at that time that I was pissed because we as an LGBT community have entirely too much power, or we need to look at our power base because for an entire community, one community has been able to ruffle an organization so much to where that entire organization that's been existing for 90 plus years has made him or said that this man is supposed to apologize for comments that were made over 10 years ago. That in order for him to get the gig, he had to apologize. Now, you guys know that I thought that was hogwash. I thought that was bullshit. And I also feel as though our Caucasian counterparts are doing too fucking much. I also feel as though that we cry foul, we cry homophobia, we cry hate, we cry all of this without giving people an opportunity to have their own opinions. And yes, their opinions can be strong. Yes, they can be hurtful. At the same time, we can't help how other folks feel. Now, what we can do is tell them, okay, you know what? You're not going to speak to me in that way. You're not going to address me in that kind of rhetoric and et cetera, et cetera. We can't do that. But what we can't do is stop people from feeling the way that they feel. If they want to fuck with us or not, okay, that's fine. I've heard all of the arguments, both for and against it. I've heard, and I do understand, that, the comments that he made, particularly in the black community or people of color, those comments and stuff, it causes folks to exacerbate that. And folks, a lot of our heteroattractional people who feel the same way feel as though, well, it's okay for somebody to say that, and they could do bodily harm and things. That kind of language promotes a lot of suicides from young LGBT children who don't know how to respond or don't know where who to turn to and this, that, and the other. I get all that. I get it. And I get it 100%. At the same time, All that kind of talk, honey, is what kept our skin thick. All that kind of talk, honey, because we can't stop it, is what has guided us through, ushering us through the pitfalls of life. Because hell, you're not going to like everybody. Not everybody's going to like you, and et cetera, et cetera. So having said all that, here we've gone through all of this. Kevin Hart apologized for it many years ago, and now you're trying to tell him he needs to apologize again. Okay, and I'm having a problem with that. Let me pause right here because y'all are coming up in here like gangbusters. I have not said hello to anybody, so let me go back and say hi to all of you who are up in here. Let's see, there's Anthony and Kevin, Brian, and I never pronounce your name right, Rala Blue. Jeremy, Antoine, and Derek. What's up with you two, Brian? Tamu is in, Charles, and Lisa Lowe. Russell, hey, baby. Tamu, you say, hey, Meach, you probably don't even remember me. You're right, I don't. Okay. Tony Brown is in. Rolf is in. Joseph and Edna and Juana. Hey, girl. Rala Blue, you said something he apologized for 10 years. Exactly. Hey, my beloved, Calvin and Sandra Black. And Juana, you say what? Then they want blood and money after the apology. Hello. Okay, another Anthony is in. Larry is in. Jericho is in. Michael is in. Hey, Officer Taylor. Hey, baby, I got to get ready to go to the Donut Factory in a minute. Tamu, you said, yeah, he said it, but that was 10 years ago. The world in the same way has evolved. Let it go. It's in the past, and everyone has made mistakes, whether it was said or done in the past. That is true. Okay, Edwin has come in. Why don't you say what? Most of my LGBTQ friends have much better humor, and the comeback is real. His comments were personal about his son. He only really needs to explain that to his son. How about that? Tamu, Herman Gardens. Okay, you know what? I got to look at your picture, child. Okay, because you went to Herman Gardens. Okay. It's Rella Blay. Ra Blay. Okay. Okay, Rala Blay. I got it. I'm going to get it. Okay. You said, I love your convo. So freaking real. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate you for that. Brian is in. Larry, you there? What you mean you at this hour? Anyway, okay, that's a whole nother thing. But let me get back into this. I wanted to make sure I say hello so the bulk of you know I'm getting your comments and stuff. But let's go here because, see, here, what we have here is another instance of the great white hope. Okay? And I know this is going to sound that way. I know it is, but sweethearts, I can't help it, and this here is a part of what the world is. Okay, that whole great white hope syndrome, and mind you, I do understand where it's coming from. I understand that her sentiments are great. Her sentiments are one as a comedian herself, sitting up there saying, listen, this is a fellow comedian. He will be perfect for the gig. She's done the gig already twice before. I understand that, she's like, well, hell, as a part of the gay community, honey, hell, he's learned from his mistakes. He's apologized, give the dude a chance because I know him personally. He's grown from this particular thing. And let's make this happen. Okay. Now, the reason why I call it the Great White Hope, because Whoopi Goldberg said the same thing. D.H. Hughley said the same thing. Who else? I think not Chris Rock. It was, damn it. It was another comedian. Anyway, all of the African American or black or people of color comedians and carrying on that have rallied around, Kevin, most of them felt as though he should not have apologized because, hell, this is a joke. Joy Behar has gotten behind and said, you know what, hey, hell, he's a comedian. They've compared him to other folks. They've compared his jokes to white lesbians, to other, to white female comics who have been embraced by the LGBT community and carried on. So we have this particular thing here. Whoopi Goldberg said, look, if you don't want to give him the gig or whatever, hell, y'all haven't called me. If you need somebody to come in, I would do it just because if you want that face. You know, she's done it before and carrying on. And the backlash of whoever would have stood in his place. Whoopi would have been perfect. If it wasn't going to be Ellen, or if it wasn't going to be Neil Patrick Harris, Whoopi would have been the perfect one, because see, the backlash wouldn't have bothered her at all, because, you know, she like, fuck these bitches, you know, and then to stand in solidarity with Kevin, she would have gotten up there and she would have blew that out, and we all know Whoopi would have blew that out and supported Kevin. So because of that, we're in this quandary. But what we have here, you know, we got the little thing, and Ellen sits out there and this, that, and the other. But now, not only has she become the great white hope, she has become the official LGBT voice in Hollywood. So it's like, okay, fuck it. Unless Ellen say so, honey, it's not gay enough, or it's not this enough, because Ellen hasn't put her stamp of approval on it. Okay? Now, let me be fair with this comment, because I don't want to sound like this is an emotional rant per se. Most of us who have power, and this is even us on a little local level, look at your friendships and look at your, you know, the people that you hang around. You know who you could influence, you know where you got juice, you know, when you're trying to get in the club or whatever, you know, you go smooth up on the little bartender or whatever, get your free cocktail, get somebody in the club, you know, this, that, and other. You know what to do and everything, because you know how to use your power to the good and then to the bad as well, honey, because you know how to do when you're trying to get your dirt. So it's not that I'm saying she's not supposed to utilize her power. But what has happened is now they run to her to be the authority on everybody. Okay? And because Ellen picked up the phone call and said, well, I called the academy and I told them this, and this. And they told me, honey, well, they want you back, you know, and this, that, and other. How come they couldn't have done that then? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't they do that after he had stepped down and said he stepped down and apologized again? Okay. And this, that, and the other. Charles, you say what? Nick Cannon was the other person who supported. Thank you, baby. I knew it was somebody else. I couldn't get it. Wait a minute. I'm missing a couple of comments. Edwin, you say a white lesbian gets more respect and power than a black straight man. How about that? Well, you know what now? We understand that whole dynamic with the whole black straight man thing. Okay. Black heteroattractional men in this country do not get the fortitude. They are not empowered. They are not, okay, based upon, I don't want to say the systematic structure of this thing. However, and the reason why I don't want to say it like that is because those are buzzwords. But we all know that there is a fear that a black man in power, particularly a straight black man in power, is a threat. That there is a threat. I don't know why is it a threat, but it is. And oftentimes, unless you are part of the stereotype, or unless you become what the stereotype of being a sellout is, they're not sitting up there letting straight black men into the fold easily. Okay, there's a lot of hoops that got to go through and carrying on. So we have to look at that for what it is. But all of this other stuff here, with Ellen becoming this pseudo spokesperson, it gives us this. Personally, what it does, I'm a little pissed. Okay, and the reason why I'm pissed is because, as I said before, Whoopi Goldberg is somebody who you trust and respect. Hell, she's an EGOT. She has all of the top major awards, honey. And no one has taken her seriously and said, listen, give the guy a break of this, that, and the other. Hell, out of anybody, Whoopi has been most controversial as far as black comedians are concerned. Whoopi has had a lot of controversy, particularly when she went through that shit with Ted Danson and she had him come out in blackface. And she went through all of that while they were dating. So, honey, she knows controversy. Okay? And so when she sat up there on The View and said, listen, we can, we can do this and this, that, and the other, they have not budged. Where was this when all of that was there? Because hell, if they're going to sit down here and re-offer the gig, why now all of a sudden, because he appeared on Ellen, has this become a whole big old do-I-diddy? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you say what Jerry Seinfeld said, that it's their loss, Kevin will be all right regardless. We've all said that. We have all said that, all the other comedians have said that and things. And I think what it is that a lot of folks have gotten caught up in the fact that Kevin has said this was his dream job. Okay, oh, this is my dream job to host the Oscars and blah, 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 blah. And then he got it. And then it became something that he wasn't worthy. And then I love his explanation. His explanation was, I stepped away from it because that was not going to be a night for me to sit down there. You focus on me and comments that were made years ago that I've already apologized for. This platform is for those who have worked hard to win this award, the Academy Award. This here is the creme de la creme. So it shouldn't be focused on me and some fucking shit that I said years ago that I've already apologized for. This should be about those who are about to win this award and have dreams come true. And then the nominees on top of it, because whether you're nominated or you win that damn award, honey, your tax bracket is finna get ready to change, because now you become worthy of X, Y, and Z. Okay? So because of that, I like when he said that. That was not the whole do-I-diddy. So now that we're here, Ellen now sits up here and makes a phone call, and now everything is supposed to be all right, to where Kevin is like, okay, you know what, hold up. Because I like when he said, let me sit in this. I'm going to sit in here and let me process this, and I'm going to get back with you. Because now we have a decision to make. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that, because I'm sure that their whole thing, that what I'm talking about is probably resonating, because Kevin is not not an ignorant man. He is far from under-intelligent, honey. He is a highly intelligent man. And I'm sure he's looking at that from this particular standpoint. How is it that this white lesbian woman was able to make a fucking phone call and tell the Academy when he's about to come on the show and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. But then again, I go back to what I said in the last video about all of this. And that is our community, the LGBT community. And I'm gonna add all them other letters later, because I'm going to do it. The next one that I want to do is, who in the hell determines when do we add letters to this shit? But anyway, our community and our power base behind it. Now that the Academy has someone who sits up there and can basically give the A-OK. Oh, well, okay, you know what, Academy? Well, I'm the gay person, honey, and I say it's okay, and I say he's okay, so it's all right. We good. Go ahead on and give him the gig. On my recommendation. Really? Really, because if that's all it took, they had endorsed him before. There was a number of gay folks that had endorsed him before, so why now? You know what I'm saying? Why now that it's only been a month, and now all of a sudden you're fervently saying that we want you? You fervently saying that, oh, yeah, we really want this to happen, and this, that, and the other, and why? Where was this when y'all stood up there before you gave him the ultimatum? Where was this? Where was it? Because see, now I'm like, okay, fuck it. Because it becomes like, it's looking as if, like I said, Ellen is now the voice of LGBT Hollywood. And it doesn't say gay until she say, oh, it's okay and it meets our approval. And see, and if we go there, that opens up a whole big ass can of worms. It opens up Pandora's box. It is the onion that becomes, all these different layers to an onion. Because see, now what the fuck is that saying? Because as Black LGBT people let me say, I don't watch Ellen's show on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, I can't tell you the last time I've watched an entire episode of her show. It's been, well, no. It's been a few years because I like it for the Christmas stuff, but I didn't even watch it this year when she does her 12 days of Christmas and all of that and give away all the prizes and all that shit. But when was the last time that anyone noticed outside of Wanda Sykes? Because I know Wanda has been on there as a black openly gay person. When was the last time she had a black openly gay man on there on the show that talked about whatever? I don't remember, and I'm sure she has. But here's the whole ticket that I'm going for. I have not seen any black open comedians on her show or anything like that that speaks to the issues of black or people of color issues dealing with the industry. Now, is that her fault? Now, I'm going to be fair with this because that's not necessarily her fault. Because for those who are closeted, those who don't want to be out, those who don't want to be the face of black gay America and all that old bullshit, well, if you're not out there to take advantage of the platforms, honey, then we can't get mad because we don't see you. At the same time, if you are who you are because she's an executive producer of her show, you know who's in what circles or whatever. Bitch, go out there and tell them, listen, hell, you come on the show. I'm a nationally syndicated show. Bitch, hell, I'm gay like you. Come on up. It's the whole big catch-22 in that. Let me go to the comments. Wait a minute, somebody else that came up in here. Who's all up in here? One of you say Whoopi has offended everyone. Okay. Howard, you back. Jack is in here. Ed is in here. Tamu, you say what? As an openly gay black man, which you have been since I've known you, hearing you speak this is amazing, even though you don't remember me. When I see your picture, honey, I'm going to get it. Okay. Andrew was up in here. Leo was up in here. Jack, you say what? I know, right? Too many letters. You know what? Don't get me started on that goddamn alphabet soup. Because if y'all missed my commentary about the P, with the whole thing with the pedophiles trying to add the P on to the alphabet soup because they want to be a part of this particular thing, it is fucking with me. Then I found out that the P is already there, and the P has been there for the last we're in 2019, the last 4 years, because P is now standing for pansexual, and I never knew we added it. So it becomes who in the fuck decides to add the goddamn letters? Because see, now it's becoming like we just accepting any and everybody, and we have nothing to show for it. So which is why someone like an Ellen can sit down there because she has the power, because she's wait a minute, let's look at that. I just had a thought. Let's look at that. Who? Because I put this up on Facebook, and I was asking the black LGBT community, who are our leaders? Okay? Who is it that we have out there in the forefront that when shit go on, they right on top of it? Who are our Al Sharptons and our Jesse Jacksons to where they pounce on shit to say, you know what, as the black LGBT community, we ain't standing for this, we ain't having that, this, that, and the other. Who are those people? Now, we have a number of local children, in your cities everywhere, a lot of local children, and they get local shit together. They got little local organizations that do this, that, and the other. And that's cute. But then who do we have on a state level? And then who are they on the federal level to where they sit down there and they will go and attack the Congress people, and they will go stand before the presidents, and they will go stand before your senators and all of that, and be like, no, fuck you. And who would go before national media on the CNNs and the MSNBCs and all of those particular programs, those platforms? Who are they? To where we have a voice, or at least they can interpret our voice for us and say, this is what my community has been saying. So I've got a lot of backlash for that. Well, I won't say backlash, just that folks are like, well, you need to be your own hero. You need to be your own. You need to be your own. And it's like, okay, that's true. I agree 100%. At the same time, we have to galvanize because all of us are not going up there. All of us are not going to sit down there individually say, okay, we're going to go to Washington. We're going to write our congressman and carry it on. So who are those who are doing it? Oh, excuse me. So because of that, and we got all these fucking letters added on and then not knowing what the hell they're supposed to mean. And really, a lot of this, like for the eye is supposed to be for intersex or whatever. Well, intersex children are not necessarily gay. They're born with both genitalia, but they're not necessarily gay. So why are they up under the umbrella of LGBT? As a matter of fact, the T ought to come out from up under it, because unless you're identifying as gay, the T need to become separate, because most of them are identifying as heteroattractional now. So there's a whole separate movement. But I know why we have it up under our umbrella, because they come out of our community. So okay, let's do that. But then the intersex community, honey, that's a whole different thing. The queer community, honey, a lot of them, they're gender non-binary and all this old bullshit. So it becomes, what is it that we're looking for? And because we are very ambiguous, or becoming to where we're the dumping pot, or the damn melting ground, or not melting ground, I was going to say dumping ground and the melting pot for everything, because we're supposed to be celebrating diversity, yet we don't know how to interact with one another and carry on. Y'all heard this in the last video. Now we have all this old bullshit to deal with, and then we can have folks like an Ellen who could sit down there and they will say, okay, she's a voice. Okay, all of the people who have been making noise and have been making hits and waves and carrying on has been those who are, our ivory counterparts, whatever. I mean, hell, look at the trans community. Let's take the trans community for instance. They didn't give that to Laverne Cox, honey. Who did they give it to? They gave that to Caitlyn Jenner. They gave that to fucking Caitlyn. They made Caitlyn Woman of the Year, and she wasn't even a woman for a whole year yet. What the fuck? How does that happen? Because, she got the courage. Bitch, I've been watching my trans sisters have the courage for years out here on these streets, because they can't go into mainstream world getting stabbed and killed and carrying on, because they hustling and hooking on the streets, because they're doing what they need to do to survive. Let me take over some more of these comments, because I could go on that forever. Okay, Angela done came up in here. Wanda, you say, well, I think Ellen knows her power, and because they are friends, she knows the power of her people inflicted on the LGBT community not too long ago, as if to say, we ain't too sensitive. We ain't that sensitive. Keep in mind, they shunned her too. I think she was coming from a sincere place. I do too. Now see, this is the whole thing. I do too. Her heart is in the right place. But see, that goes back to why, it goes back to the whole scheme of things. Because see, what this does, this makes her the martyr. And this makes her look like she becomes the great white hope. We got the white face fighting for the black man when Whoopi was on the battleground already. Whoopi's a former host. Now, she's not gay, but she's a former host, and she's a controversial comedian. Who knows what the road is? And ain't nobody bit to her. They didn't call her, or they didn't even send in a tweet to say, you know what? We still holding out for him. They've been saying that we don't know what we're going to do. We don't have a host. We don't this, that, and other. Ellen gives a fucking phone call because as far as I'm concerned, Whoopi got more power than Ellen. Okay, Whoopi got more power as far as I'm concerned. But Ellen is sitting up there, she makes a phone call, and now all of a sudden they say, oh, well, we really wanted him, and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. See, there's some bullshit in that. And I don't know where, who's stirring it, or who done put the cow on the toilet to drop the turds. But y'all, somewhere up in here, there's some bullshit. Okay. Jack, she had Jesse Smollett. Okay, that's cute. Jesse is lovely. Jesse's lovely. He's a new face. He's openly gay. Lovely. Okay, but we just called one. And wait a minute, who's trying to call me? Child, no. Bye. Okay. Okay. Mike Matthews is in. Michael Kaywood is here. Jack, you said, I don't know any. Cory Booker. Ha ha ha. Okay. Hey, my cousin Jackie just came up in here. Okay, Wanda, you say these letters confuse me. Honey, they confuse all of us. Shit, everybody. Because, see, when you're talking about the continuum of what our community is, okay, lesbian, gay, bi, okay. Now, all of this is the damn same thing. It's just that now we have broken it down because we just can't say gay. because now the women want to make sure that they have a voice. So lesbian ain't nothing but a gay woman. Well, hell, ain't you gay? Gay is gay, supposedly, right? But no. The lesbians need to have their own fucking shit. So you got gay, you got les. Okay, now for those who are attracted to both, who, in the B really don't have a voice, because the gay community figures though, okay, you got to be either or, and the straight community want to say, well, honey, you just going through a phase and carrying on, so they don't even recognize it. So the true bi-attractional children really don't have a voice in all this. The T for transgender. Well, transgender has now, it's a whole community because it breaks down into so many different things. I'll do my transgender one-on-one course later. But it breaks down into so many different things to where now that becomes confusing to a lot of people, because they figure, okay, it's all about sex. Well, if you trying to change, you just want to change so you can have, you want to live your life as a girl so you could just have sex. No, that's not it, because there's a lot of trans children like Caitlyn Jenner who are transgender, but they live their lives as homosexuals. Caitlyn is a lesbian, honey. She likes women still. So, all right, okay. So it becomes that way. Then you got the Q. Now, the Q is for questioning and queer. So it's two Qs. It's supposed to be the LGBTQQ. IAA, because the A is for allies and the A is for, wait a minute, I forgot what the other A is. It's allies. And no, it's not asexuals, but I'm going to say allies right now. But yeah. So it becomes all this different bullshit. So we just got all this damn alphabet soup that is just coming into play. And now they want to add this P for fucking pansexual. And up under this P, pedophile could get loosely up in there, because pansexual means that you're open to any and everything. That's the loose definition of it. Even though it says that I'm attracted to, I'm open sexually, I'm sexually fluid and all of that. And so then the pedophile could get put up under there into that category loosely, because the P is already there. And now they're trying to make pedophile, they're trying to call it pedosexual as a fucking sexual orientation. And it's not. It's a crime. It is a fucking crime. And I'm going to stand on that. And we as the LGBT community need to stand up and say, fuck that, because we don't want that narrative to be ours. The fuck, I want some damn kids. Go look at that. I'm not going to get into all that again. Go look at the other video that I did about that. If you missed it, go on my YouTube page, because I put it up there on YouTube so you can find out more about that. Okay? Derek done came up in here. Yeah, Whoopi is an EGOT Jack. Why don't you say what? They're scared of Whoopi and they know she's going to keep it real. Exactly. Hey, Taj, what's up, Pisces, okay? So it's pansexual, bisexual? No. Loosely, yes. Okay, loosely. However, it's a little bit broader than bisexual, because see now, girl, what I have found out is and I teach this, but now that it's becoming a reality, child, it's really fucked up. On the sexuality continuum, you have straight on one end. Gay is on the polar opposite end. Bi is directly in the middle. Okay? Now, just like on the number line, all the little lines in between to get to the next point, there's little stuff in between that blurs together. And in this blurring together, it also has its own definition. And it's little nuances that makes them different. But it's those little nuances that sets them apart. So, pansexual, hear me now, pansexual means that I am attracted to anyone, male or female, and how they represent themselves. So if I'm attracted to men, then I'm attracted to men, I'm attracted to masculine energy, I'm attracted to trans men, there. If I'm attracted to girls, I'm attracted to females, trans women, this, that, and the other. But pansexual becomes specific. Then there's omnisexual. Omnisexual means that I'm just fucking anything, child, regardless of how you identify, as your gender identity. Because if I'm attracted to it, if I like it, I like it. Whether you are male, straight, this, that, and that, okay? It becomes all of that. Then there's demisexual. Yeah, you heard me, demi. And when I found all this out, I said, now see, y'all making shit up. Demisexual means that I am more attracted to, no. I'm not going to have sex with the person unless there's an emotional attachment. Okay? And I said, well, if that's the case, there's a lot of folks who are demisexuals because a lot of people do not like having sex with strangers or whatever, or don't feel as though they need to have sex unless, there's a connection there. So then there's demi. Now, I've got to really understand poly because then there's the polysexual. Okay, we know polyamorous, but then there's the polysexual. And I'm not going to give that definition because I got to understand that one. But there's the poly involved. So when I found all this out doing the last video about all of this, it just fucked with me. And that's because I was talking about the whole P for the pedosexual shit. So that's where all of this is. So in all of this and carrying on, we got all this alphabet soup and we have so many different areas where folks can get lost in the translation. But then for the LGBT community of color, then we're trying to figure out where do we fit in all of this? Because some of this, to be quite honest with you, and yes, I'm going to say this like this, some of us feel as though that a lot of this shit is white people shit. Okay? Because, everybody wants to get into here. Then when we find blacks and people of color who are trying to identify this way, oh no, I'm non-binary, honey. And this, I'm like, non-binary? The fuck is you talking about, child? And then it's like, well, I don't identify, and fit into gender roles and blah, 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 blah. So, bitch, you are sitting there saying you're androgynous, honey. That's the word we used back in the day, androgynous. But now it has, all this shit has taken on a whole new culture, whatever. I can't stand the term cisgender. I hate that fucking term because I think they made it up because we have transgender. You made up cisgender to mean biological. That you are born this way and you identify in the sex that you were born in. I think they made that word up just to go counteract it with trans. Okay? And it's just dumb. But, okay, it exists, so all right, fine. But all of that to say that our community is what it is. And so now what we have, it becomes all, not, and this is what I mean, because as I'm trying to get it out, you see how confusing it can become to where we have all of this to contend with, yet we got Ellen being the voice of Hollywood to represent all of that. Huh? To say, oh, okay, well, because I gave my stamp of approval or because I forgave him, it's okay, it's good. Go ahead on, darling. Let them have cake. Okay. Leonardo has come up in here. That was my alarm. Okay, I got to get dressed in a minute. Leonardo has come up in here. Leo Brown, you say, well, it's funny. A friend of mine had this conversation all the time. It's my thinking that as much as we want to include everyone and everything, we can't and shouldn't. You know what, darling? Now, if that ain't real tea right there, Now, my friend Haji says this all the time. He said, y'all need to learn how to become more exclusive again. Because when y'all were exclusive, you were doing your own thing. But now, you're trying to be diverse and everything. And now your diversity ends up becoming a whole big old ruckus. And nobody knows what the fuck is going on anymore and things. So I don't think that we ought to be that complete umbrella term. I think we need to stand in solidarity, but not necessarily be that umbrella for everybody. Because see, what happens is that everybody starts to piggyback off of us. And if they piggyback off of us, then we become the accepting this, that, and the other, and then their narrative become our narrative, and then those who are against us, or the haters, if you will, then they start to lump all that shit to us. And then it becomes a whole big problem, which is why Kevin Hart's comments from 10 years ago struck a nerve, because now for black folks who sit down there and want to say, oh, well, he shouldn't have said it in the first place. He shouldn't have been on that. How dare him come across? That's homophobia. And I know I'm starting to believe that. I'm starting to change my idea on homophobia because folks ain't scared of damn gay folks, and they just don't like it. So it's homo hatred. It ain't a fucking phobia. It's just homo hatred. Okay? Or homo dislike. You don't like it because of whatever you done made up in your mind about what it is you think that we're doing. Okay? So, you don't like the fact that it is what it is. So we have all of this to contend with, and the man has apologized. So the question becomes, it's just like everybody else, are we supposed to punish him or continue to make him apologize for something that happened a long time ago? Because if that's the case, then that means we're treating him like we do prisoners. When people go to jail, they sit down there, they serve their time, they come out, okay? And so we hold them to a standard because they have a criminal record. And because they got that criminal record, it's hard for them to get jobs, it's hard for them to get housing, it's hard for them to do anything, okay? And because of that, then all this bullshit, if you're not going to let them live and move beyond their mistakes, or we say that, okay, we lock them up because that was supposed to be the correction of their mistake. Well, okay, so they've served their time. How come now we can't let them have a life? See, that's wrong. And so here, he was a young comedian and carrying on, and like he said in the clip, I did it for the laughs. We try to sit down there, we go for the laughs. Hell, your audience. Listen. You know your fucking audience. Okay? You know your audience. And you know what audience is going to do. Why the hell you think Tyler Perry got so much fucking money? Because what? He know his audience. He know black, particularly fat black church women. I'm going to say it like that. Because he always know how to cater to overweight church women who's single and lonely and looking for a goddamn man. Why? Because he always had the prettiest ass men up in there who always become the savior of the damn world. As long as they know Jesus, honey, they could sit down there and hallelujah. And if they sing well, till they could throw their panties up on the stage, child, he got them. Okay? That's why his movies are all the fucking same for the most part, and why you can always tell who's gonna be what at the end, because that's his formula. That's how he makes his money. And the children run to it all the damn time, because that's his money. Okay? Ain't no secret. The Colonel, hell, Kentucky Fried, they got 11 herbs and spices. Why the hell you still go to Kentucky Fried Chicken? Okay, because you want the extra crispy chicken. Okay? Extra crispy spicy. They got the best coleslaw, okay, in the business. And carrying on, why do you go to damn Popeyes? Because they got the best biscuits. Okay. Okay. So we can't be mad at the formula or whatever, but what we can do is sit down here and recognize that it is the gimmick. You see? Wanda, you say thank you. Leo, you say pain is about energy, not gender. Okay. Tajarius has come up in here. Wanda, you say more damn labels. Exactly, child. Another damn whatever. Dwayne is up in here. Bernard has come up in here. Howard is back. Titan is here. Leo, you say your friend is right because there's so much infighting going on. Hell yeah. Okay, Greg is here. Hey, what's going on? Dwayne, you said, yes, it's hatred, not phobia, completely. Hello, my friend. Hey there. Okay, Leo, and you said, and it's not even chicken. No. For the most part, it ain't chicken, child. It's damn processed shit. It's hormones. Okay, you said I was craving fried chicken earlier. Okay, I feel you. Okay, Wanda, you said what? Red beans and rice. Okay, right. So you go to Popeyes for the red beans and rice, honey, and the biscuits. Okay? So because of that particular formula, that's what this is. And so you know who your audience is, okay? At the time that he was saying all that stuff, he was playing to an audience and he got the laughs. Okay, and we as gay folks, it ain't like we ain't heard that shit before. It ain't like some of us has experienced that before. But now we done got super sensitive because a lot of kids have killed themselves and, we're dealing with a lot of mental health issues and carrying on. And I get that. And maybe, when we're looking at the broader scope, We have to look at that. But here's the thing about entertainment. Entertainment is supposed to be the escape. We run to entertainment to get away from it, okay? But let's look at that. Because if that's the case, and we're supposed to watch everything that we do, but when we go to the movies, we won't say that the movie is real unless it's realistic, right? So when we go see the hood movies and they sitting up there playing shoot 'em up, bang, bang in the neighborhood, and you got the dope dealer versus the crack dealer carrying on. When the sissy in the motherfucking movie, if they're not sitting up there capping jokes on him or whatever, and they're trying to fight the sissy and then the sissy whoop their ass and carrying on, or it's a close fight or whatever the case is, if that's not done, then what we say, oh, that shit ain't real. That ain't real, right? So if we know that, do we stop going to see the hood movies because of that? Okay. Do we build better movies because we want to change the narrative because we're not all hood? And I always go back to the Cosby Show and when the Cosby Show was on air, there was a lot of people who did not identify with the Cosbys. Why? Because they thought it was fake. They kept saying black folks don't live like that. Black folks live like that every day. But because they wasn't sitting down there whooping their kids' ass, they was having conversations with their kids. Oh, that ain't real. Oh, that ain't real. Oh, that ain't real. Really? But you said you want to come out of good times. Why did everybody always got to be in the damn ghetto? Every time we turn around, somebody in the damn ghetto. Or why? Or girlfriend? Why the dark skinned girl always got to be the ghetto one? What did she always got to be the one that's neck rolling and got to have the attitude? Why the light skinned girl always got to be the smart one? So we come out of that. We done made destruction. We had a lot of movies, honey, where the dark skinned girl is the victor. But then now all of a sudden it ain't real. Okay, so it's not like the shit doesn't exist or you don't know your audience. He played to an audience. And then, hell, like he said, he's grown from that particular form of comedy. His comedy has grown. His comedy has changed. Okay? They never went after Bernie Mac like that. Bernie Mac talked about gays all the time. He talked about beating his little nephew's ass. Nobody went after Bernie Mac like that. And if they have, they kept it hush-hush. They didn't exploit that like that. Did they? And when Bernie Mac was on stage, he said, I know a lot of y'all sisters gonna get mad, but fuck that shit. Okay? Well, it became okay? So now what are we doing? Okay, what are we doing? Okay? Okay, well, Greg, you said, well, I just had some chicken wings. Okay. Wanda, you said, go on and preach now. Okay. Wanda, you said, well, the sisters in my neighborhood were not to be messed with, and that's real, honey. They still not to be messed with, except for those little bitches who want to cause trouble. Okay, those who cause trouble and those who bring trouble amongst themselves, and I'm saying trouble, not attention. There's a whole big difference because you got the ones that's ostentatious and that's very, very flamboyant. They bring attention to themselves, but those who bring trouble and those are the ones who are always trying to start a fight, trying to this a fight and that a fight and this and that and the other. Those who bring trouble to themselves. That's a little different. But for the most part, honey, we have never been the ones that have been messed with or whatever. So it's not like what Kevin has said. And then here's the other thing about what he said. He's coming from a straight man's perspective. See, that's the whole other thing of this thing. Because as a straight man, honey, what he knows about LGBT culture, honey, he knows from the stereotypes or whatever. He knows from what's been taught to him from childhood. So those jokes were jokes and carrying on. If you found it funny, you found it funny. If you didn't, you didn't. But for the most part, we all laughed. And so, but he's apologized for that. But I'm saying this. For Ellen to be the one to sit down there and say, oh, well, I called the Academy, and the Academy said, well, they really want you to host. Why in the hell didn't they say that when Whoopi sat up there and said on The View, listen, Kevin, if y'all don't want Kevin or whatever, he's already apologized and you need a host. Hell, let me come up there. I can do it because I can handle the backlash, because it was always going to be, oh, you took that job from Kevin. Okay. and things of that nature. Why is it that they didn't sit down there and tell him that before they offered him the ultimatum? According to him, he said, listen, either you apologize or we're going to have to get somebody else to do the gig. That ain't what they said to Ellen. Ellen was like, oh, well, no, we've always wanted him to host. Oh, we need him to host. Oh, we this, oh, we this. So it becomes like she became the great right hope, the savior, the stamp of approval, because she's the gay woman that said, yes, this black man has redeemed himself, and blah, blah, blah. I'm having a problem with how that looks and how that sits. And yes, I understand and I realize and I get that she was coming from a place of love and sincere, and sincerity and carrying on. And before I came on to record this, I was looking at myself, because I'm like, well, wait a minute, because I know there are moments where I feel as though if I say a couple of words, it can make a difference. You know what I'm saying? I know I've spoken on behalf of a few people and carrying on. It's gotten me in trouble a lot on my job, because whenever they ask for the employee opinions, everybody wanted to lie. And I'm like, no, because what the kids are saying, they're saying this and we're saying this and blah, blah, blah. And I know my boss and I got into a great, big, huge, major argument about that, because he told me I didn't know how to play the game. And I was like, fuck you. And playing the game, this ain't no goddamn game. This is my life. This is my life. I'm not going to sit down here. You asked for my opinion and I gave it to you. Now you mad? Now you mad, really? Okay. So having said all that, I know, in what it is to want to sit down there and to speak on behalf of someone. Well, maybe if I were to do this, perhaps this could. Okay, so coming from a place of sincerity, I get that all day, because, like, she's saying, listen, you could do this gig, dude. She pushing for him to do it. Like, go, yes. Okay, so now, now what? But I'm just having a hard time with how that looks, because, see, on top of all of that, see, now what that is doing, that is giving her, or Hollywood has indirectly given her the stamp of approval to talk to me, to be my proxy, to be my vote, to tell me what's okay for me. I don't need you for that, girl. Not to speak for me. I can if you put in a good word, that's a good word. But damn it, hold up, because see, when I sat down there and did all this, they said this to me, but because now all of a sudden you do, yeah, and that's what he said. Let me sit in this for a minute. Let me sit down and think about this for a minute, because, see, I got to reevaluate some things, okay? Because, see, now it becomes, what move do I make? Do I go back and take the gig, and then what does that mean? Okay, and then he's got to be able to sit in that decision, okay? Because it's not so much as what it is, it's about sitting in the decision, okay? And making sure that it's the right one for you, for your family, for what's to come down the line. Because this is today's gig. But see, and then we want to make sure that the gig is gonna be cute. Okay, because see, now we done got all this build up. What's the pressure now of hosting the damn gig? Because what if he bombs? Tiffany Haddish just bombed. Okay, just had a night where she bombed, but she needed that actually. She needed that night to really humble her. And I'm not saying she's not a humble individual. It's just that she's the it girl right now. And so God makes us and puts us in positions to where you have to be known. Okay, everything is not going to be gold that you touch, sister. Okay, because right now she's moving and shaking. She's working constantly. That's a beautiful thing. But number one, she really needed some rest. Okay, she really shouldn't have took that gig, but she really needed some rest. And really just to take some time, okay? And that's one of those moments. And I hope that's what she learned from that. One of the things she learned. But the whole big thing is she bombed like everybody else has, okay? Big names, okay? She bombed. All right, hell, y'all seen Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, when he was on top of his game, he had a couple of movies that flopped. Did not do well at the box office, okay? So we have that to contend with. So in that, now it becomes, if whatever decision I make, I got to make sure that I can sit in. And let me go back to the comments. Okay. Leo, you say what? We make the narratives more balanced. Yes, I remember that vividly. The Cosby's got dragged for years. Okay. Karen's is in. Alfreda. Hey, Frida. Reverend Frida, how you doing, boo? Trader came up in here. Who is this trying to call me, child? No, honey. Shit. Uh, Greg, you say, well, our mayor here in Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottom, is from the hood, Pool Creek, to be exact, and her father was a drug dealer. That's reality too. How about that? Okay, and you see that how she has pulled herself up from that, and she's not that or any of that stuff. Okay. Why don't you say, go on and preach again? Okay, you silly. E Prosperity is up in here. Okay, why don't you say, I vote RuPaul. Ru will bring it. Not at the Oscars, she won't. Ru, you know what? Ru does not do well if she's outside of her comfort zone, she does not do well at all. That she couldn't pull that off. She couldn't pull it off unless she make it all drag. And she wouldn't be able to pull that off. Okay. Okay. Greg, you said, I remember that, Big Meach. Wanda, you say what? They gave her some nasty backlash. Yes, they did. Otis Mack is in the house. Aha. Wait a minute. Otis, you know I love you, honey. You know I love that child there. I said bye. Okay? Oh, I love when you do that, child. D'Angela Show Shannon. Hey, sister. What's going on with you for coming up in here? Jay Clay is in the house. Okay, Satchel came up in here. Hey, Big Meach, preach, child. Thank you, baby. Leo, you say what? Rue is all about making money and nothing else. And you know what? I'm not mad at her for that. You know what? I'm not mad at her for that because RuPaul has created a niche and she has created her own entire empire. I ain't mad at that heifer for that at all. Okay. So in that, here's the takeaway from all of this, because see, here's where we need to be on top of us, okay? And I'm gonna talk to two different communities. Let me talk to the black folks first, okay? My Caucasian children who's on the line, I'm not negating y'all at the moment, but see, one of the things you have to understand is that in this world, you guys have always had the power to maneuver. You always had the power to go in and out and be as fluid as possible. So a lot of this stuff may seem as though it's trivial to you, but for the communities, the black community and then the black LGBT community, we have not been able to galvanize successfully without it being some kind of do-I-diddy about it. You know what I'm saying? And so if we galvanize and say that we're something against this, it becomes a political move. We're not trying to be political. So let me talk to the black folks first. Black folks. What we have to do is learn who our heroes are and who our sheroes are, and then learn how to support them, and then learn how to hold folks accountable. Okay? See, it's okay to disagree. We just got to learn how to stop being disagreeable when we disagree with people. Because oftentimes, and you hear this all the time, folks will say, okay, you know, I can't fuck with you like that. I ain't down with that. I ain't down with that. And then when you say you don't want to be bothered with somebody, then you want to cut them off completely because you had a small little disagreement. It's not like it's something that you couldn't come back from or whatever. You sit up there and get mad because they done told you too big for that outfit. But because it hurt your feelings and carrying on, you want to sit down here and say that you don't want to fuck with nobody no more. Okay, and so we end up cutting folks off, and then we end up leaving them by the wayside for the vultures to come in and swoop in. We don't give our folks and those who we give our allegiance to, we don't protect them. You know, and this is not to say, well, wait a minute. No. Let me do that the right way. Because I started watching this R. Kelly shit, and we protect at the wrong times. Because see, now, you know, folks like R. Kelly and those who have done some evil ass shit, we want to protect them. Why? Because we like what they stand for. But we have to have folks be held accountable for their shit and be responsible for everything. Your actions, you are responsible for. Good, bad, or indifferent. Okay? Ain't that what your mom and daddy taught you? Your parents taught you that all the time. I love you regardless. But when you fucked up, you got that ass toe up, didn't you? Or you was on punishment. You got some kind of restrictions. Why? Because it was to correct that behavior. It was not to sit down there and to reward negative behavior. So see, we black folks, we've got to learn, those who we put up on pedestals and carrying on, we have to learn how to make sure, number one, we hold them accountable for their actions, make sure they hold up to their responsibility, and then at the same time, we have to make sure we surround and protect them from the vultures, from the trolls, because all of this came from somebody trolling. How in the hell he get the gig, and then all of a sudden, somebody put this up from 10 years ago. 10 whole years ago. Do you know how much damn dirt digging they had to do to find that shit? 10 years ago, they go finding this, and it was within a matter of 24 hours. Really? Okay. But yet, what do? We started backbiting and we started fighting. Well, he shouldn't have said that in the first place and blah, 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 blah. But like I said before, when he said it and he had the first wave of apologies, the apologies was out there too. Nobody reported the first wave of the apologies. Okay, nobody said that he apologized outside of him. Well, he said, I've already apologized for that. Nobody went and found those. I did. I found them. Okay. But nobody reported that. But me. I said that in the last video. Okay. So we have to learn how to protect them and then keep the vultures from fucking with them. See. Now let me talk to the black LGBT community. We've got to stop being scared of being seen. See, we do shit at the wrong times yet again. You want to be seen when you at the club. You want to sit up there and whip your hair back and forth and carry on. You want to sit up there and take a pose, strike a pose, Vogue, J-Set, whatever the case may be. You want to walk around Atlanta with your pumps and your purses and shit to be seen. You want to go up in here and get your eyelashes done to be seen. You want to get your eyebrows arched to be seen. Well, bitch, if you're going to be seen, then that means you need to sit down there and be seen when it's time to sit down there and get shit done for our community. We can't be closeted and then want to sit around and fuck around with the DL folks. You can't sit down there and have it both ways. See, we want to have our cake, pie, cookies, scones, biscuits, tea bars, cotton candy, candy bars, ice cream, frozen yogurt, and you want to have all of that at the same table. Okay, peach cobbler, banana pudding. Okay, okay, a couple of sweet potato pies. Okay, so that there is what we have to do. We have to be able to come out of this, and then we have to stop letting our Ivory brothers and sisters be the only voice of this community. Because oftentimes, honey, when they get to talking, they don't talk about us. Okay, and then they get to talking for us, and then the people who they talk to about us end up, they only see that face. Listen, when the white gay children were saying that this struggle, the civil rights struggle, the human rights struggle was identical to the civil rights movement, black folks got mad as fuck. Why? Because black folks are like, how in the hell you gonna say this is the same? Because I can't change my skin color. You could stop all that gay shit if you want to. You don't have to twitch and pop and snap your fingers and wear rainbows or whatever. They're not going to get you for that. Okay? They're going to stop me because of my skin color. That's what the first thing they're going to get. They're not going to get that I'm gay first. They're going to get that I'm black first. So we got upset. The black folks got completely upset. And so that's why we have this great big divide between the LGBT community and the black community. Okay? But we as black LGBT children, we got to stand in that gap. So that, and not be afraid of that gap, to be like, no, honey. Okay, I've got to be a face too. And then we've got to make sure that it is a fair fight. We got to sit down there and make sure we get the coin, that we get what's due to us, and that we sit up there and say what's what. We can't sit down here and say we are of diversity, and want folks to come and fight for us. But yet when like I was supposed to be doing a video about this 7-year-old baby, honey, that just got killed. Okay. uh, the white guy who shot into the car. That was a racist act. It was a bigoted act. And until they prove me wrong, I'm going to stand by that because that was heinous. Now, we as a black LGBT community, we can't sit by and not go rally. We cannot sit by and not go rally for that and then get asked for our straight allies to come to our defense. You see what I'm saying? Because, see, here's the thing. That 7-year-old baby, many of us are parents. Many of us have children. That could have been your baby. That could have been you in the car. Okay, what if you were driving in your car with your rainbow sticker on your bumper and that motherfucker decided to target you because of your rainbow sticker and shot your baby? See? Okay? See, so we can, oh, God, wait a minute, it just hit me in the whole, oh. Whew. Okay, wait a minute, I'm sorry. That just hit me that way because we are in a political climate now to where everything is politicized. Everything now has a political meaning and a political agenda thanks to this administration. Okay? This administration did it. This administration does it. This administration, we may not like it. Okay? We don't like it. And for those of you who voted for Trump, honey, this is your fault too. Because this is what you said you wanted. Okay? This is what you said you wanted in office. And all throughout his campaign, he laid out everything about anything. Now, do we call him a racist? I won't necessarily say that, but that's a debatable point. But I will say this, is that he targeted racist people because all of his rhetoric supported. He went after, and if you look at, I say this all the time, you will hear me say this, and I'm not going to back down from it. If you look at the Constitution and what it says as far as discrimination, we don't discriminate against, and all that it says, he has targeted, made sure he found people who has an issue with every one of those points. If you got an issue with black folks, he knew what to say when he went to go rally against after white children. When you had an issue with women, he knew how to go get some bigoted motherfuckers who thought women supposed to stay barefoot and pregnant. And he said some hateful shit. If you don't like gays, he went to the Christian evangelicals, the white Christian evangelicals. How about that? Except there said all this old bullshit. He went through to make sure he had talking points that was going to address everybody to get him in. And see, a lot of these children, they are one issue voters. All he needed them to do was to latch on to one issue. And that's what got him in there. And this is the political climate. So for those of you who voted for him, for those of you who say he's doing so wonderful, this is the climate that you have helped create because you bought all of this shit from out of the backwoods. And it started when it became, this is not about Trump. This is this is an anti-Obama movement because you didn't like the fact that we had a biracial, brown-skinned man in office. Okay? And because of that 8 years, that shit that was brewing and stewing and carrying on, when Trump gave you permission to unleash it because he let you hit folks and beat up folks at his rallies, he told you to do this. When he let you unleash that shit, now it has just been a whole wave of bullshit. Okay? And so because of that, this is the climate that you say you wanted. Okay? And so because you voted for that shit, I'm going to make you somewhat responsible for it as well. Because he spoke to you, because he got your vote. So now because of that, we cannot turn our backs on anything. So black LGBT children, you cannot afford not to not be seen. You cannot afford not to have your voice be heard. Because if Ellen has become the voice of gay Hollywood, LGBT Hollywood, because she could sit down there and make a phone call to the Oscars and tell the Academy, oh, he's a good person. I know him personally. He has changed his life and made and amended his ways. Give him the gig. Click. If she can do that, when Whoopi Goldberg sat up there and damn near did the same thing on the TV, She said, listen, I'll take the gig if y'all don't want him. But y'all told Ellen, oh, well, we really do want him. Oh, no, Ellen, no, girl. We really did want him. Well, yeah, woo, girl. Well, okay, well, you said it's good. Okay, well, we'll do it then. Bullshit. 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 And that is not to say that that's taking anything away from Ellen's power. I want you to hear me clearly, because I truly believe that she came from a place of good-heartedness. She came from a place of good standing, and she knew what we all do. If you have some influence and you feel you can make a difference, she did what she knew to do. I ain't faulting her for that. What I am saying is that she should not have been the voice to do it. Where are the black gay Hollywood children out there who could have said, listen, who are on the voting committee? Okay. And then, like I said, I keep saying Whoopi because Whoopi was a host, and she's not gay, but she's an LGBT ally. We forgot about her allies. She's an LGBT ally. Okay. And she's hosted the gig. So she knew what that was about. Okay. And she's an EGOT. She's an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony winner. Okay. So she got all the top awards. So that there, when they didn't bother her, come on. The look is not 100 for me. Okay. The look, it just don't look right. Okay. And we can all argue about, it's not, we could get into the aesthetics of this, that, and the other, about how it's supposed to look, and this, that, and the other. We can get into all of that and things. And that particular conversation becomes personal, because now it's all about what you believe and how you govern yourself. Okay. As far as what this is. But at the same time, I say we should rally. Now, if Ellen made the first phone call, okay, let's take it from there. Who's going to now step up and get into that? Who else is going to rally for him on that level for the Academy? Okay. That's where we are with this. And we, as an African American community chair, I'm telling you, for my straight community, for those of you who are on the voting, who are on the committee to vote for the Oscars and things, y'all should have been right there on that. And not that you wasn't, but if Ellen could have made a phone call, why didn't y'all make those same phone calls? Okay, for those of you who are closeted gay children who got voting privileges, how come y'all didn't make that call? Huh? Okay. Why is that? Where are the YouTube commercials and the memes and carrying on that could have been built around that to support him? Okay. Where's all that? Because social media is a big tool, honey. I did not see the support come in the social. What I did see, I saw everybody find them damn tweets. Y'all knew how to put their fucking tweets out there. Y'all knew how to say, oh no, it was a whole list of them. Because the ones I found at first, everybody was like, oh no, honey. Oh no, he said some vile shit, more vicious than that. So y'all found that. That's what y'all decided to post. But instead of saying, okay, like I said, you never found the apologies, I found one. Because the apology he gave was, he was apologizing for what he said, but then he also said, I'm not apologizing for me being me. And this, that, and the other. That was the first apology that I found. Then I found another where he said that if I hurt you because of my words, I'm sorry. So I found 2 apologies from back then. Okay, so if that's the case, then how come we're not rallying? And why is it that it took Ellen to do it? Okay. And this is not to say that she wasn't supposed to, because this is where the slope gets slippery, because it becomes the whole, like I'm sitting up here saying that she shouldn't have done it. Somebody should have done it. Okay. But the look of it becomes, here we go with the great white hope syndrome again. Okay. Why is that? Okay. Why is that? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I want to make sure I get all these other comments because some folks were saying something. Wait a minute. Let me go back here. Michelle, hey, you came in. Eric, you say, yes, I'm going to have me some everything. You talking about all the cakes in the past? You so stupid. Oh, Eric says, share the video. Thank you, Eric, for that support. Mike Matthews, you say, well, you better preach, Big Meach. Love your videos. I bless you, baby. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. You said that happened here is devastating. Oh, really? That was there with you? Them killing that little baby? Paul has come up in here. Eric said, call it how you see it. Okay. Marty is here. Eric is here. Another Eric said, you speak the truth. Okay, Aaron. Hey, Aaron, you said you're 100% right. Thank you, baby. Kenneth come up in here. Timmy has come up in here. Daddy Kales. Aaron, you say everybody started high, and of course they did. Good evening, Daddy Kales. How you doing? And Eric, you say, well, so do Kevin want to do the event now? Where he's sitting on it, Eric, he said he's going to process it because after being on the Ellen show and things, and Ellen said to him what the Academy said, that they want him to do it, and this, that, and the other, he said, you know what, let me sit on this for a minute. He said, let me process this because he wanted to, because now it becomes, okay, if I take the gig now after all of this, what are you now going to sit down here and still try to rake me over the coals? Because again, he stepped away from it and then apologized yet again. Then he apologized again while doing the Ellen interview. Okay, because he's like, no, I didn't apologize for this. But this event is not about me and my words and this, that, and the other. This event is about those folks who work hard trying to win this award. So it's all about the nominees and the winners. This ain't got nothing to do with me. So I don't want to be on that stage and take away from their moment. And I agree 1,000% on that. Okay. So, we'll see. Okay. We will see. We will definitely see. Aaron, you say, well, unfortunately, Ellen's way is the only way. Okay. Shane, you say, I'm late, but okay. That's all right, baby. You can catch it back because when I got to put it in the archives in a second. I'm going to upload this on YouTube too. And Aaron, you said, per what I saw on Ellen, he may do it. He may. Because remember, this was his dream job. And see, this is where I think a lot of this came into play. Because it was no secret that doing the Oscars was your dream job and carrying on. And for them to put that ultimatum in his presence like that, either apologize or you don't get the gig, that was fucked up, number one. And then number two, if you gonna tell Ellen, oh, well, we really want him to do the gig and do all that pussyfooting around that they did, then why did you take him through those changes to begin with? See, why did it have to come down to that or apologize or else? Because they didn't even give him time to sit on it. He could have sat down there and said, okay, fine. If they had and if the tweets had to come up, then he could have addressed it in such a way to where, hey, it would have been, probably part of a skit, because they do a lot of little skits and stuff if they had came to him properly. But now you going to tell Ellen, oh, but girl, we want him to, well, we really want him to do it. We really want him to do it. We ain't found nobody to do it, blah, 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 blah. Bitch, you could have told him that a month ago. See? So, yeah. Okay. I'm just having a problem with all that. Walden, hey, baby, you done came up in here. Daddy Killers, you said, well, I think he should stand in his truth. He is tired of the trolls. I believe so, too. Aaron, you said, I think he should do it. If not, he will be the elephant in the room. He will still be the elephant in the room. You know what? You got a point there. Now that you got a point. I can't fuck with that one. Hey, Jake, thank you for coming in. Eric, you say what? So you think it's a teaching moment? Everything is a teaching moment. Everything is a teaching moment, darling, because see, now what we have to do now is this is where it becomes a personal battle. Remember when we were going through all this stuff with apartheid and carrying on, and whether you was going to invest or whatever? And I love this episode of A Different World when Kimberly got the scholarship because she got her medical scholarship that was going to pay for all of her medical schooling and carrying on, but because the company that funded the scholarship had invested in South Africa and was a part of the apartheid movement, she declined the scholarship. And even though Whitley was trying to tell her, girl, no, you don't have to, you can keep it, and blah, 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 blah. She said, but no, because see, for me, if I take that money, then for me, it means that I'm supporting them, or know that I'm supporting an organization that supports apartheid. That episode was very strong. And I reference that to say this, because see, now it becomes personal for him. It's all a teaching moment, because see, whatever his decision is, even from the beginning, when he turned it down and said, listen, because he stepped away from it, he didn't get fired. He said, well, I'll tell you what, let me step back from this. I'll step back because this is not about me and the apologies. Because if you found that, then you should have found the apologies I made already. So he stepped back. Now they want to sit down here and say all the little loop-de-loop shit, okay, about this, that, and the other that has nothing to do with nothing. Oh, well, girl, we really did want him to do it and blah, 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 blah. Girl, bye. Shane said he may do it. Yeah, he may. Lamar has come up in here. Aaron, you say what? They admitted to Ellen that they fucked up. Of course they did. Okay. Shane, you say they needed Ellen to give him a gay push. No, they just used Ellen to give him a gay push. Okay. Eric, you say what? Do race play a part in this for Kevin? I don't think so. I don't think that race is playing a part. In my opinion, the only time that it's playing a part is because it's a divide within the LGBT community. Because it took a white lesbian to do it. Because none of the black folks or any of the black LGBT folks have come to him out publicly. Particularly those who are on that Hollywood level. Okay, and if they have, again, it's not been on the public level to where we've seen it, to where we see who is standing behind him. And then there's a lot of black folks who's sitting up there, particularly, black gay folks, like, well, he shouldn't have said that shit in the first place. Did you realize? Because I know I saw that in a lot of the blogs that came on, some prominent blogs, and folks who got a little name for themselves. Well, we've been dealing with this in the black community forever, that, homophobia and stuff and black men have been wanting to bring harm to this community, and young boys have been killing themselves and have been, we have done all of that. And for what he said, talking about he would hit his son over the head and stuff. Well, that theirs is problematic because black boys and stuff been dealing with that forever. And it's like, okay, true. But coming from a straight man's perspective, getting a laugh, that's what that was for me. Because I didn't find it all that offensive, because shit, I was like, okay, he's going to grow up and beat your ass and this, that, and the other. It becomes a whole big to-do. But everybody's trying to, they were trying to criticize what he said, not taking it to effect that was 10 years of fucking ago, and then not taking it to effect that he had already apologized for it. So it becomes this whole big old rigmarole over nothing. Over nothing. Now, you want to beat his ass up. They're not giving him the forgiveness card or whatever. They're not giving him that. But yet we got R. Kelly, who been sitting here pissing on girls for the last 30 years. And now they want to make a documentary about him and interview the girls and carrying on because of the Me Too movement. Now it becomes, because they arrested Bill Cosby. Okay, and Bill Cosby and this, that, and that. Now it becomes, we need to go after R. Kelly. What? And black folks been sitting up there. Now you want to sit down here and rally around him. Oh, well, don't do that to R. Kelly. He's a musical genius and all this. No, he fucked up. We knew that when he married Aaliyah. When he married Aaliyah, we knew he was fucked up in the head then. But nobody rallied around it then. Everybody closed a blind eye because you sat up there and got mellow, all over, up in arms over his music, and you forgave it. When he went to court or whatever, y'all forgave it. And now, here we are 30 years later. Okay. So, Ooh, Lord have mercy. Okay, wait a minute. Travis, come up in here. Shane, you said it's all a power thing. Yes, it is. It is complete and other power, baby. Yeah. Eric, you say what? Yes, agree. Agree. Something you may have to stand for. Wait a minute. Yes, agree. Something you may have to stand for something. What do you think? Well, you know what? And well, that's the whole thing, Eric. You have to take a stand somewhere. Okay. And that's why I say it becomes personal, because now it is how it is that you govern yourself. And when you make your decision, are you able to look at yourself in the mirror when you brush your teeth? I'm going to tell you something. I love this. Delary said this years and years and years ago on the Vicki Lawrence show, when Vicki Lawrence had a talk show. She said, I know when I made the right decisions for my life. She said, because when I go to the bathroom, when I brush my teeth, I can look at myself in the mirror versus dropping my head in the face bowl. I love that. And I stand by that every morning. And what few teeth I got left, because I got to get a new grill. These girls are falling out. Medicine's a long story. But when I go to the bathroom and I have to take care of all of my particulars up in there, when it's just me and God up in that bathroom, honey, and I'm getting my fresh anointing for the day, the fresh rebirth, honey, a fresh baptism with the shower carried on, and I'm finna go to put on what I'm gonna do to present myself to the world. I'm always mindful that I could always look at myself in the mirror and never have to drop myself in the face bowl. Okay, because if I'm ashamed to look at myself because of some shit that I've done, then honey, then that means that we need to tear it up and do it over again, because that means that I am not living my best life. And then anytime I feel as though I cannot look at myself in the mirror, then we have to forgive ourselves from that point. Stop. Forgive yourself and look at yourself and say, okay, bitch, you fucked that up. You fucked it up. Now, don't punish yourself beyond this. Pick yourself up, do it over again. And anytime I cannot look at myself in the mirror, that's where we start. So this is the whole thing. Everything becomes a stance. Everything, you have to stand for something. Okay, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you got folks that's going to stand with you or not. So everything becomes a stance, baby. Anthony, thanks for coming up in here. Mike, you back. Leo, you back. Aaron, you say, well, a gay black man is still a second-class citizen in America, even in the gay community. How about that? I can't fuck with that one. That will speak for itself. Okay, Shane, you say, and he is a comedian. Can we all get along? Okay. Lamar, you say 10 years ago, already apologized. People change. Let it go. He should host the Oscars. All right. Say that. Take it right there. Leo, you say, well, you really should be a minister. You are preaching. Thank you, baby. I've been told that all of my life. Lamar, you said R. Kelly shit was insane back when he married Aaliyah. So none of this shit is that's happening now is surprising. How about that? Okay. Aaron, you said, well, R. Kelly is a sick pedophile, always has been, and not just because he's a victim of sexual molestation. He is sick. How about that? Shane, you say, it's all the last days now. Finally, people are being held accountable. Okay, now. Eric, you say, what? Is this also white feminine going after black male, after black men and making laws that will affect community? Interesting thought. Hold on. I'm gonna put a pin right there. Let me get these other comments. I'm gonna come back to that. William, you say, amen, brother. Richard, you say, what? Madam Giselle, go to bed. No, I can't go to bed right now, baby. In fact, I'm finna go to end this because I got to get dressed for work. Got to go to the Donut Factory. And then, Shane, you say, what? Yeah, I can look at myself in the mirror knowing that I have lived a righteous life. Okay, then, for living a righteous life, honey. Okay. Now, Eric, back to your question. You say, is this also white feminine goes after black men and making laws that will affect community? That's a hot question. Because I won't say that, or I don't believe that this is about creating a law. What it is I believe that it's influence. Okay, more so, and establishing power. I don't know about creating laws or whatever, because well, no, let's put it this way. Let's say unspoken rules. Okay, because I really believe that oftentimes that, you know, what we call white privilege and this, that, and the other, a lot of times a lot of stuff just become unspoken rules and the law of the land, if you will. So there you go for the law. Okay. The way it's supposed to be, and trying to set up a systematic ritual or whatever. So, oftentimes, and see, here's the thing, oftentimes, if you look at the course of the history of a lot of the gay movement or the LGBT movement, a lot of it was the transgender people, and white lesbians still have always been the forefront. You know, white lesbians, honey, have done a lot in this. And this is not that the white men, the males wasn't a part of it, but white lesbians, honey, they were the fighters and things. They were the ones to sit down there and really do the grunt work and things. So that's let me ponder on that one a little bit more, because I have to really examine that one, because I think that's a real good question, Eric. I'm gonna put that on my Facebook wall too. So let me see what other folks are saying. Let me get back and ponder that. I'm on the next time we have a gay issue, which will probably be soon. I'm gonna address that fully, because right now, off the cuff, my feeling is it's not necessarily about them going after black men to set laws, but what I will say is this: I think what it is about them championing for causes so they can get the financial gain. Because I've said that before in the last video. Oftentimes, our ivory counterparts will do what they feel they need to do and use us as the bait so that they can get the coin for it. Because the organizations will get the money, but then it won't trickle down to our communities. You know. So with that, yeah, that's where I am. So let me give you that. Shane, you say, well, my family members have to forgive me and let God forgive them. Okay. Hey, Justin, how you doing? Howard has come up in here. Aaron, you say, well, this is a child molester who in the past was able to pay his way out of trouble. Huh, okay. How about that? Eric, you say, what? D, I like when you say they see color for most, okay? Because they do. You know, and what they see color because they see color because they see color. And what I mean by that is they see us, and then they see what money can be had or can be made or can be earned. And that's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about, and it becomes a little bit that way. And again, to all of my Caucasian children who are listening to this, I know you get tired of being the brunt of it, but understand, child, this is what it is. This is the life of it. And if you look at it and do your research all the time, a lot of the organizations, honey, who are ran by our Ivory brothers and sisters use the black community, honey, for your numbers. You get your numbers up, but then when you get that money, the money don't go here, it goes elsewhere, because see, then you got to go out here and take care of the suburbs, because the suburbs don't have the resources. They don't get the resources first. They get it from you, and then you send it out there, and then the community that you say you're here for, then we sit up here begging and struggling. Eric, you say, I have to say, there is law coming down the pipeline that white feminist legal if cat wait a minute, child. Okay, you a little cryptic. I have said there is law coming down the pipeline that white feminist legal if cat call. Look it up. Okay, wait a minute. Child, send me that in a DM, because that's cryptic. Okay, that one there was cryptic, because I want to get that right. But here on that note, let me do this, because I've got to get dressed and get ready to go to the Donut Factory. So, my darlings, thank you guys for entertaining this. And I'm going to get back with you very, 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 very soon. Wait a minute, Eric, you say what? How is white LGBT community where in your location? Child, you typing too fast because you're missing words in your text. I'm here in Atlanta. So, darling, that says everything, doesn't it? Okay. So, I'm in the ATL. Bam. Okay. So, enough said. So, on that note, let me say thank you all for coming up in. Let's do this again real soon. Let me go up in here, do my Batgirl change so I get dressed and get out here to the Donut Factory. So on that note, honey, if you love me, tell a friend. Honey, if you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this. One way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I'm doing, honey, will move forward. You may finish all of your tea and dunk all of your crumpets, my darling, because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing tea with Big Meach right here and right now. Until we meet again, my darlings, honey, be good to yourselves while you be good to one another. Welcome to 2019. I should have did that at the top of the show. And all of that. And bada boom, bada bing, honey. So we're going to secure that green, honey, in 2019. That's my motto. Okay. You said, sorry, making it legal to catcall. Oh, that's what you were trying to say. Is it making it legal to catcall? Child, okay. And Aaron, you said, well, Atlanta is the gay community. Hey, Tracy. Okay. Child, okay, you know what? I can't with y'all. Okay. Oh, and it is Friday, ain't it? God damn it. Y'all too much. Okay. Let me take care of y'all, honey. We'll talk again real soon. I got to go get dressed. Let me go do my Batgirl change, all right? Ha! Ciao.